On one condition, I will be inviting people to this private home of Juno Dekatashvili on behalf of Moscow News. Agree. It was first testing of a gentleman.
You're being photographed.
Do you understand? It was the first testing of a gentleman. We done it from Juno apartment. Later he published an article.
In America we call that the setup.
Yeah, setup, yeah. And it was when source-centered woman and Yevtushenko, and we were talking, and later on he published...
We were on the other end of the line.
Yeah, and he published the whole article about Juno with her photo, became a personal friend of her, and her guest every second evening, right here.
That's great.
And he became...
the worlds come together, huh?
Yeah. And then, when time has come to make a real great initiative, I write to him with a videotape of Bеседа from ЭКРАНу, and he says, this is a chance to make your paper real worldwide known. And he just was on the Face the Nation program.
Yes.
He's engineering. And people expected initiative, something new.
Yeah, sure.
The guy created the...
It's okay to take a risk now.
And again, okay, you can use paper as a source of initiative. Why don't TV? Well, we'll invite TV later. You're also TV personality. You have your own TV program, so no problem. And that's why this telex was sent.
Well, that's great.
Well, that's what's so great about this video.
This is the story.
Yeah. So that it's everywhere. MTV, I mean, people in the home.
Yeah, it means that if you work with people, right, you have consequences. This is a crop.
It's a step.
Yeah. And to make such an initiative behind it, and it's not only him, but the whole staff is working already. The Department of Advertisement, Department of the Moscow guests in Moscow, young journalists, photo makers, and all of them are working already.
It sounds like it's much more developed here than in America.
Well,
and I don't know what Mike is doing to develop.
To say frankly, you have all necessary network. You just need to have a decision to switch the button.
Yes.
It's all done, because it's a historical breakthrough. If you manage to make such a thing, you can do everything. It's the first ever humanistic global concert. It's a manifestation of the ripeness of humanity to do something real outstanding. Without this experience, I would never do even to think about New Year party and all those things. I'm just a product of those initiatives. First of Chuck Colton, then by Michael Mitchell and all so forth. So I'm not reducing myself to privates, but I know my place in the game. So my problem how to create a chance to participate on a level of real equality. Because you have a crowd, we have a crowd. We have a technology, we have technology. How many screens we have is the next problem. We'll develop eventually, 15 or 20, 35. Time will come.
But in America, do you really want screens? I mean, do you want it to happen the same way in America that it's
no,
going to happen here?
No, by all means. Not necessary.
Not necessary,
Let's
that's
create
right.
different
we have a,
absolutely.
We have a different, more
we can
private
do it from
technology.
The private home.
That's right.
From somebody's private home.
MTV.
Absolutely. Not necessary. Let's make it.
What he's
We have an outdoor screen here. Let's have outdoor screen in France and have an indoor screen in America and something private in Alaska, creative.
So, a million indoor screens.
Absolutely. Let's show a variety of communication. Somewhere are radio stations working to transmit audio image through slow scan video.
But we want it live, right?
Yeah.
We want it New Year's Eve.
The only necessity.
That's
the word simultaneously should be experienced by everybody. Simultaneously. And the theory of relativity, they started when they suspected the word simultaneously. Let's suspect that what we are doing something is simultaneous. That's why it's neat to me bring your leader and our leader to simultaneously shake hands with each other, to make something simultaneous.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like Ted is the one to be working with in this.
That's why probably Rick Lukens invited him.
Sure.
And if the tape is only 2 minutes long, but
not only that,
he's
willing to take the risk.
First, I never invited him to make inauguration of huge screen, but let me describe the tape in 2 minutes. First, it's CNN symbol of the company. Then greetings from Atlanta. Then Atlanta itself. So beautiful landscapes and animals and yachts and so forth. Then the Turner himself speaking something in Russian. I can understand only from the third attempt.
He's reading it on a prompter.
Probably smiling, happy, but something in Russian.
No grade. I know how much Russian Ted speaks.
And then the whole staff staying and like a New Year card, smiling to us. The first vice president, Stuart Lurie, explained to me, telling in very good English, "Hello, master. Congratulations for the creation of huge first ever spring. It will be a tool for interactive cities exchanges, so forth." And meanwhile, and everybody cry in Russian, "До свидания, Moscow."
Not a shot.
So this is the beginning.
Yeah, that's good. And that's what you showed to the Moscow news guy.
Yeah. And it convinced him that it's a real chance, it's a game from American side. And also, Moscow News was the only paper who published a report about Live Aid concert on the front page.
Did Project carry it at all?
No, he didn't mention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some papers mentioned, but I invited his another manifestation of that how bright he are. He given me his reporter, and I ordered her to come to TV.
Yeah.
Ordered her to have a class, and she reported on the front page of Moscow News. I gave it to Michael Mitchell.
Did anything get in Russian about it?
Well, in 5 languages.
Yeah, but did
The
Moscow
paper-
News print it in Russian?
Definitely.
Or sometimes they print.
No, it was printed on all 5 languages.
Can we get the Moscow News?
Yeah, well, I can ask. I can.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
living
we
in the
get
United
it.
States, can I subscribe to Moscow News?
He'll be happy to make you
Oh
subscribe.
boy, will he be happy.
Now, who is Bob Meyerson?
We get 2 copies, I think.
Well, Meyerson.
Yeah, at the Moscow News. I got a request for a
Probably
piece
his
child script
correspondent. I don't know.
just before I
It's
left. I got a request.
900 reporters and translators. It's a 3 publishing house. It's a,
Is it widely read in the Soviet Union?
well, it's read all.
I know it's in 5 languages, but in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I'll tell you. All students should come through lessons of English. So all of them are reading Moscow News as a must paper.
In English.
Yeah, in English. So it's like a alphabet book, for everybody here. So everybody, they should read so-called thousands of words in Moscow News. They can choose any other English paper, but it's the only one to choose. So this is a strange paper, and it's also news. It's about events, and it's different from all kind of papers because it's just news. What happened, what planned, what. So forth.
Joseph, I want you to spin for me your image of what will happen New Year's Eve. Because you've got an image, you've got an idea.
Now, it's easy to do it because, fortunately, young architects made this image live on the huge plate. I'll show it to you. A diagram.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do it anyway.
Descriptions, geography, everything. But I also invite you to walk with me for half an hour along all those streets and lanes to see the location.
In old Arbat.
Yeah, and all that block.
What is the content of that evening? What will be on the screen?
Well, the main challenge is that on the screen will be everything around the vicinity of the screen. So everybody have a chance to be a star.
So
Including thousands
Yeah,
of people.
live
yeah,
interviews.
absolutely. Not only interviews, some performances, as Eddie Warhol predicted, everybody will be eminent for 20 minutes.
Yes.
So this is a chance to make everybody...
Giving out free pancakes.
Yeah. So, and if you want to be starring, make the beautiful pancakes and sell it to people for nothing, or make presents, smile to them, it'll be on the huge screen, and then in Alaska, and everywhere, it's your chance. Believe me, the pancakes will be
for
done.
us all to show our best.
Yeah, and also the huge theater exists there. They want night performance. Also, there is a video saloon where they want to make some experimental things with people. There are flower shops. They want to make some experiments with flowers. There is, well,
Joseph, it's very cold on New Year's Eve in Moscow.
that's why
In
they
the
will
middle
be
of the
coming.
night.
No, this is one of the most popular journals, Science and Life. Fortunately, it's 7th and 8th numbers. It describes this all Arbat in full details what its street was before, who lived there, and they restored this street in the form it has existed centuries ago, from Tatar invasion in one of the terrible times. So this is there, and the screen is here. So we want to make a party here, reflected by a huge mirror, return it back, and reinforce it again. So this event is itself a source of interest, probably. First of all, it will be interesting for all of them.
Yeah.
Thousands of the people will be there.
Yeah.
And then we hope that it will be interesting for the internal Muscovite television network. And from here we'll organize Space Bridge Exchange. So, and it's coincide with the tradition. It's a core of the Moscow. It's like Brooklyn in New York. You know, everybody knows Arbat. It deserves attention. This is, and it's described as sort of a live museum.
Yeah.
Still, people are living there. And part of the Arbat transformed as a sort of a pedestrian mall.
Yeah.
So it's the most natural environment to make staged space bridges. That's why tradition of so-called environmental theater can be invited back, because people like it. For instance, it will be something on the street, but there is a lot of places where you can be hidden from the cold, and then return back to the street.
Okay. And on our side of it, it sounds like you see not this mass thing,
there is
but
equivalent.
individuals.
Yeah,
For
but there is-
instance, the
nevertheless-
Juneau, Alaska group
Yeah.
stating their case,
Yeah,
demonstrating
yeah,
their dances.
But
Something in
also,
San
nevertheless,
Francisco, something in
there is
Seattle.
a coincidence. There is a Times Square in New York,
Yes.
where equivalent amount of people have a good time in the New Year party.
Yes.
It's 8 hours difference, so it will be morning greetings from Moscow to the midnight American.
I know that. I have that connection.
And there is a huge screen there, Diamond Vision, and we have connections with the team from Huge Screen. They are ready to demonstrate everything.
Where's that screen?
On Times Square. Yeah,
That's right.
There's a screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond Vision screen. And they invited us, if you want to see the whole crowd, we can invite helicopter to fly it all over the crowd. And people wonder, Joseph, can't you imagine what Times Square in the midnight in America? They were almost frightening me. What's there? Oh, they're doing all kind of things. It's interesting.
So the Muscovites will be interested in
Yeah,
seeing
no doubt. So, and this is a challenge. Let's make it a great proposal to everybody.
Yeah.
And we will see what come out of it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
They will try to reduce it. Somebody will try to expand it.
Sure. Everybody's got to have
So
their
my challenge is to advertise you to know that the chances, because it's not, well, if such a chance wouldn't exist, well, it's not easy to do it within the hall of TV studio. Well, just impossible. It will be just like candy, New Year party around the table, something live, a little bit wild.
Yeah,
It
that's
wouldn't be
nice.
possible. But this is a specifically prepared kind of city, a part of the city, just accomplished after restoration.
And this is Gorbachev's constituency.
Constituency.
Oh, jeez. Together.
And no doubt, we will write a letter to him, invite him in the middle of the crowd to be there, not on the midnight necessarily, but say
Arriving
1
in a
p.m.,
troika,
1 a.m.
waving to the people.
Yeah,
Good theater.
good theater.
It's important.
We should do something in Williamsburg. We should do something in Williamsburg.
What is there?
Williamsburg is a part of America that's the colonial part. It's a town that's been completely restored.
Very
the days
close to
of
Washington, D.C.
The days of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and it's the old houses. And at I've never been there at New Year's, but at Christmas time they light like a big Christmas tree, and they have singing out around it's a beautiful place to be during the holidays.
Along this line, already people, today a gentleman called me, he's making a huge New Year performance with kids. We did together the first space bridge.
Sure.
And he explained why we reduced the whole celebration to just one night. Let's do it a week, every day. Well, why don't we do it here?
International station.
Yeah, 1 week celebration. And what is important for Gerasimov, as Richard Moscow, is that this year is declared the Year of Peace by United Nations. So that's why I call my script proposal 24 hours of the Year of Peace. The first 24 hours of the Year of Peace. From Bering Strait to Alaska.
God, what a year.
We have enough time, believe me.
Oh,
Joseph, are you working at all with Ostrovsky at the United Nations?
Who?
Ostrovsky, Christoph Ostrovsky.
Yeah.
He's the person in charge of the UN Year of Peace.
Really?
David's been working with him because we are
David
performing Peace
mentioned to me
Child
something,
there.
but I didn't know that somebody was nominated to be in charge of the Year of Peace.
He's the person that I think he's in charge of. He's the one that we've been working with because we're performing at the UN on this 15th.
So it's your part to invite him to consider a possibility.
Well,
Yeah,
David would be the
Yeah,
one.
I'll give you also telex to Mr. Gerasimov to write to him directly.
yeah.
But now let's reduce it to something not... First of all, we should consider this is a long line along we all are collecting items. So it's a summary. It's not occasional. It's not out of the blue. It was developed. Without the first Arts Festival, it wouldn't be possible. Without first meeting with human potential activists, wouldn't be possible. Without Don Carlson, Global Town Meeting, Chuck Colton, and Live Aid, it's all collected eventually. And engineers confessed to me they wouldn't produce so rapidly as a huge screen without brainwashing propaganda of space bridges. They have a temptation to do it. Because what for to make such a huge screen for 3 million rubles? What for? It's staying without, but they want to invite republics, different countries, European countries, third world countries. But when I read into things that Alaska's Eskimo performing musicians will be on the screen, it's beyond reproach.
I gave it to Nancy.
Yes, you have. And that's happening out of June.
For 24 hours. One radio station in this country, a third program in this country.
I mean, you see, CNN isn't received all over the United States.
But it's pretty wide.
How pretty wide?
It's got a lot of coverage.
Yeah, who gets CNN here? Cable network news.
We don't get cable where I am, but they do in Ashland.
At
They get
least, but
CNN?
People that have cable, almost everybody that has cable gets CNN.
Not in the rural areas.
Oh, yeah, they've got cable.
well,
They don't have
again,
saying
look,
everybody that has
the
cable.
program should be as a concept of universe. It should be total, holistic. Then we will see what reality will do with our holistic image. But I prefer to have holistic image first, and then go to reality, because reality will show me what it can. But why should we care about reality at all? So reality is hopeless.
Oh, you picked the right media. Right.
And give them a chance to make the initiative also. Because Alaska people were very, very suspicious about Live Aid. We have our own satellite 4 stations and the beautiful artists who want for the first time to do something for the whole nation. Not receive signals, but distribute them. So give us to make an initiative. If we will fail, we'll tell you. Come on, let's do the business. So they prefer to make initiative from Alaska right now.
They want to do something.
Yeah, because they're a very creative artist, invited to California to work there, and they're reluctant to come, but nevertheless nothing to do in Alaska. Now it's a chance to do something.
Great stuff.
But definitely, without assistance of those people who are like you, like Diana, spent a lot of time to come here, to know the climate, to know the hidden language. So without them, without you, they can't do anything, no doubt. For instance, they painstakingly knocked on all kind of doors and received, well, support and interest, but no practical, because they explained, we are ready to come on the one condition, it will be permitted to come to Chukotki. If you will guarantee us that we will come to Chukotki, to our relatives, and so we cannot come at all.
Why?
Well, because what they want to come to the Eskimos from Russia. not to Muscovites only.
I see. Yeah, right. So they won't come at all if they can't go out there?
Yeah, and nobody can make such peace committee, friendship society, other professional people. So I invited him to come to professional people here, who is responsible for Eskimos culture, and explain, advertise yourself on the huge screen on the New Year party. It will be easy for you to come to reach people who will make the trip. So my channel is open to make them easy to do their own program.
But you have to take it step by
Yeah,
step.
so that's a returning to you. It will be easy for you or for them not to waste years and years, but to do immediately a right decision with the right people. You invite here, what? To invite Soviets to come back to America. It will be easy for you to do your job if you will be national, popular figure. So that's why we created such a channel together, to serve everybody. And then we will see the meeting of the message. Yeah, otherwise, I 100% will, that nobody will help you to do your business successfully. Because there is no tradition, we are not reluctant, but have no appetite to make it.
What satellite will you use, you know?
Well, we have 2 satellites, which can be used in this country, and Michael Mitchell managed to moderate 16 satellites for live aid programs.
Well, which you got? Do you know which one you're going to use?
Well,
you got too much.
it's just no problem. Just no problem, because what we needed, Alaskan satellite is on such an angle of equator. So we see they are using it for 24 hours per day. They can give it to everybody. So the problem, how to get the signal from this satellite to this satellite and this satellite. It's a geometry job. Geometry task for engineers and figures. They will do it within 24 hours.
But it's also a permission problem.
Well, permission depends on where you secure permission for the whole event. And then we can apply to United Nations authorities if it's their declared New Year party. And Paris Declared can greet the humanity with the first ever New Year party. Global town meeting. And all the network of Chuck Colton on friends around him could be immediately invited.
See, if somebody like Mike Mitchell decides to, he can get permission for the satellites that you need.
But what I understand of Mike Mitchell,
Where is he in this?
yeah, I've given him the first description of the invitation written to him a week ago,
Yeah.
10 days ago. I understand that Michael Mitchell is such an important person right now, and he can't make an immediate decision. And also, what a strange initiative. They're probably digesting it there. So I'll give you all additional information,
Okay.
including meeting with Moscow News representatives, to show to you that there's a reality behind it. You will see the pedestrian mall, the screen itself, and you will come to them and tell, look, it's a real something.
Because if you wait too long,
Yeah. But you arrived just a few days before the returning from Geneva. The editor-in-chief came there.
it's nice.
And no doubt that one of the outcomes of these talks is a more established cultural exchange. And the more unusual they will be, the better, at least for the beginning.
I think that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
If we will finish, we will start again with this Balik dances exchange. What a benefit after 6 years of waiting.
Yeah.
He's being facetious.
Yeah.
Make the world safe for Balticans.
Yeah, let's start with something incredible.
Yeah.
And this is heart of the Moscow, old Arbat, as sacred as Kremlin Square, next to it in popularity.
That's interesting.
So it's precisely the place where we can make such an exchange. It will be real Moscow, right? A real tradition of Moscow. It will be picturesque network.
Now maybe if Kelly can make a good videotape of that screen being there,
By all means,
That's
let's go.
that's a
Oh,
very
great.
good reality.
What are we waiting on? Come on, let's go there.
Yes.
And you'll see the scene.
I'd love to.
And it will be your first report to CNN, to Michael Mitchell, to everybody. We'll go together. It's a solution.
It's good. Because they'll believe the videotape.
Absolutely. They will see the street,
Yeah.
the screen. You will interview whom necessary,
Yeah.
to talk to you, from musicians to filmmakers.
Go straight to
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
We'll
great.
show you the place where the tree will be created with it. We have 1,000 rubles for special toys. And I ordered it's for special artists to create those toys.
But I mean, let's face it, the way the American reality works, and because of the images that we have of how this system works, the two big things that are going to be highly impressive, that will turn it, are number one, that you have Moscow News sponsoring this.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. And number two, that you've got the screen already up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just an idea.
Let me congratulate myself in thinking as a real American. This precisely was mentioned in telex to Michael Mitchell.
Yeah.
Moscow News behind it, the first homemade huge screens. Yeah. The minor problem is creative artists, kids, and lighting and so forth.
Satellites.
Yeah, satellite,
Content.
Content.
We'll think of content the night before New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Have you talked to any of the networks, the American broadcast networks, or did you decide just to stick with Turner?
I prefer to follow the tradition of the Greek culture, to do it on the home level. Rick is a friend of mine, so I applied to Rick.
Yeah.
He came to that.
I think
Even
Turner's more
here,
willing to
I
do it.
prefer to work with friends first, and then we'll extend our family level to outsiders,
That's the way we do it.
include them eventually.
They don't work as fast as people like Ted Turner.
Well, it is my hope that if we will prove that those two items, like sponsor, is real, and place is creative, we'll convince them to join us.
Yeah.
Where does the money come from to make this happen?
In this country.
In this country?
Well, fortunately, municipality of Moscow has money resources for different kind of celebrations. So municipality of Moscow will sponsor the event.
And what about in our country?
The city of Moscow.
City of Moscow, yeah.
Have they already agreed to do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
if
that
Mike
will pay
Mitchell
for
and
the
Ted Turner are
performers.
behind it, then the issue of money is passe.
Well, let me show you how it comes. Municipality of Moscow, this is a project of this is a copy of their decision, signed decision about New Year trade in the area of the Arbat. And how it works. The municipality of Moscow made a plan of events to make a trade on the Arbat street. I get it from there. I copy. So this is description of the event, then a description of the activity, then the date and who is responsible. For instance, how to make 5 shops to sell something for kids. Who is responsible? Department of selling something for kids. Until the 20th of December, I should report on duty what's done. Somebody will be responsible for installing the trees of 8-10 meters high until the 20th of December. Who is responsible?
We've done a lot of homework.
Yeah, yeah. Then it's done here, and the only thing how to make a feast out of those events, because it's described.
Sure.
The landscape is prepared. What we need now is
Let's have a ritual.
yeah, ritual. So we approach them, explaining, look, in the forthcoming future, screen will become active. Why don't we connect together? The idea of making performance on the plate you already created, to your benefit. So you describe it later as if it's your initiative.
Of course.
So this
There's
is
an idea you're going to
Yeah,
have.
this is conditioned. Otherwise, I can't transform the whole area into something celebrating New Year party. It's precisely written by them. It's our chance how to find a person who will give it to you and explain its plan. The municipality of Moscow, and that's why after I came to Moscow News, shown it to him and explained, look, if you'll make an initiative from political, from cultural side, because foreigners can be easily invited through your channel, because it's Moscow News published in 5 languages, together with a practical job of management of municipality of Moscow, and you can invite creative artists, we will do something incredible. It's sort of an initiative they expect you to do.
Instant fame for their restoration.
And that's why I spent 2 months already walking on all corners of the district to prepare it for your arrival.
Great. Okay. You want to go this afternoon?
Yeah.
Huh?
You want to go this afternoon to
Anytime.
look at Old Arbor?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
Like you were talking about last, I think it was in August, they did it right here. And a gentleman from Yogaville, great master of yoga, he arrived here and he invited us to think about the possibility of the whole Yogaville.
Right.
One street, one technological installation.
Is that here?
Yeah. Although in America you have plenty of choices. So how you manage to cope all those efforts together, I don't know. Without any problem.
Not as cold in New York on New Year's
Well,
Eve.
nobody's suffering. They don't know water. Look, imagine when a hot pancakes will be served and music and dancing and girls and kilts and everybody. What a problem.
You're an energetic people. You can take it.
So this is the kind of a New Year party we will experience. Hey, take care. It's not easy to take everything seriously.
Well, look, I tell you, what we're doing here is we're tapping into an absolutely essential ingredient for peacemaking, and that's fun.
Yeah, there. We'll cross it there. Yeah. Well,
We have to make peace exciting. I mean, look, we feel excited now. You know, this is not. We're not going to a peace committee meeting where we talk and talk and talk about peace. We're feeling it inside of ourselves. We're feeling the excitement of it. War is exciting. It may be horrible, but it's very exciting. So we have to make peace just as exciting. We have to put that element of aliveness into peace.
Well,
Because
and
right
also-
now it's boring.
and all those ingredients, you're absolutely right. Like costumes, uniform, medals, rewards.
Chance to- Here I am.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
doing my thing,
to
and
show
I'm-
the camaraderie and
we're first.
courage. Yeah. Yeah. And finally,
Instead of being the first person to conquer that country, we're the first person to
yeah.
be televised on the screen.
And that's why it's a challenge also to make this almost a military operation, to organize resources for a month and a half, to raise money, to make a weaponry.
Empower the troops.
Yeah. Listen, General. The General speaking.
Carry on.
Peaceful General speaking.
I mean, the struggle for peace
Great,
needs to be as
absolutely.
professionally done.
Look, but by the way, frankly, it's the opening speech I expect on your side from America.
What?
The New Year party. This is precisely, I insist on quoting you yourself about war and peace.
Okay. I've written about it quite a bit.
Yeah, but this is precisely the words I expect. It's a monologue.
We'll come up with something exciting, that's for sure.
Yeah, we cross here and you call and we'll wait.
It's a great thrill to be standing here in the old Arbat section of Moscow. I want you to explain to us what has been accomplished with the large screen here in this public square, and also what the vision is for a New Year's Eve celebration.
The most important that it's not a miracle for you probably, because you have such large screens in the Western countries, in Japan and America, but this is the first homemade large video screen, reliable from the family of Diamond Vision screen, with a small electronic tubes and 100,000 tubes here connected together, and digital computer behind it. So for the first time it was tested 10 days ago. It was tested as we changed sometimes before, but it was a 3 days performance 10 days ago.
Yes.
For thousands of people collected on the streets here, looking at this with admiration, as if it's a light from the church. Unknown church yet, you know.
The new church.
New church. And it was known to us pop singers and landscapes of the country, mixed together in a very naive and simple montage. But first step, nevertheless, it was important to see that the faces are totally recognizable And we also felt that there's additional something there in those recognizable faces. As you put it, more real than life and bigger than life.
That's right.
And it is the first step. Then people were open to do something next. But definitely not just show pop singers, but first to give a chance to audience to participate. Because there is a video input which permits instant shooting and showing to the people as a feedback. Then the problem was what to show, how to show. And it's natural because the New Year party is on the way, and there is a pedestrian mall next to us here, and thousands of people who can be invited to have a participation, performance, so forth. We started to think, why don't we do it together? And probably, I was still reflecting on the idea, if a friend of mine, new friend of mine, Martin Bear, from Juneau, Alaska, didn't arrive here, with the idea to bring Eskimos performing groups to Soviet Union next spring, next autumn. I explained, look, why don't we try to send a message from them on the New Year party? We're ready, he explained to me. We have 4 stations, one satellite Alaska. We will do it, no problem.
That's right.
So from the Bering Strait, they will send hello to us in the midnight of Moscow. It will be midday of the 31st of December.
This year.
This year.
2 months from now.
Yeah, the rest is easy. To invite Europe, to invite Asian republics of the USSR, to invite somebody else, and we're open to do it. I immediately sent a message to Michael Mitchell from Live Aid Company, who did the first ever humanistic concert. And then you did it right here. I no answer from Michael Mitchell. I didn't receive it yet. I didn't receive official invitation from Alaska, although we expect it within a few days. Probably it will arrive while you're here. And you are here right now.
Yes, it's exciting. So what we have is a professional screen in the middle of Moscow in one of the most alive sections of town that's here permanently. You've tested it. You've actually transmitted the images of the people here up on the screen so they could see themselves. And the next step is to make it available for New Year's Eve as a simulcast from the United States and from Moscow so that we can see one another and feel one another at this time that you celebrate and that we celebrate, New Year's Eve.
Although there is time difference, but nevertheless we can simultaneously celebrate. Of course.
It will be morning for you and New Year's Eve midnight for us.
And vice versa. It will be evening for you and midnight for us.
We'll just keep it going.
Yeah, keep it going. And if somebody will coordinate it, it's definitely what is important for you to know, that engineers and constructors who created this screen were motivated mostly by the idea of using it for the space bridges. Without space bridges we did from the 1982, it would be never created so quickly.
That was the stepping stone to bring us to now.
Yes, because they're live people, and it's not me talking on behalf of them. Time will come, they will come here to tell you why they created such a screen and why they create 15 per year for the same purposes.
In every republic in the Soviet Union.
Yes, in every republic of the Soviet Union, for sister city exchange, to make interactive cities program real and so forth. What is behind the technology here? It's a vision to create. So it's also a challenge to creative artists, because what kind of exchange? When time of surprise will pass, like it's time of surprise from the early stages of cinematography, then a time of creative artists to think it, because it's a combination of video technology, huge images, and huge crowds live. So nobody probably yet aware what a challenge we have to the culture at large. When you talk about education or cross-cultural examinations or exchanges, this is the real change, because practically it's not feasible to exchange physically millions of bodies from continent to continent.
That's right.
But it's possible to create images, to kill the image, the enemy of the, how you call it, face of the enemy, to see the fundamental roots we have in common and fundamental differences we still should overcome.
That's right. I mean, I stand here in the street in Moscow and I see that the people here are very much like me. That's something that we all have to learn about one another.
This is the first.
Way down deep.
Yes, absolutely.
Who is the sponsor, official sponsor in Moscow of this creation?
The problem is that first space bridges were created with assistance of TV. And it's natural TV technologies here. But this screen does not belong to TV. It belongs to the municipality of Moscow. It costs 3 million rubles, and it's obliged to sell advertisement to support itself.
Of course.
So municipality of Moscow could support giving money for such an explain a sort of advertisement for the screen. So we invited a public paper, Moscow newspaper, published in 5 languages and having world circulation.
Very well known.
To be a sponsor behind the event. And to my surprise, without any effort, they agreed to do it.
Right.
So physically, it will be support of Moscow News and management of the municipality of Moscow. As invitation to other municipalities of other cities to take part in such an exchange, so forth.
As I see it, the ball is now in our court. You have done the groundwork in Moscow, you have the screen, you've tested it out. In the United States, we need to create the networking and the connections so that we can share our part of the simulcast.
Precisely, because artists and engineers who are working with me right now, all of them are those who created space bridges and were behind the program. So definitely all of us naturally dreaming about the major space bridge between us, because it's the nature of the bridge we were dreaming about. And it will be green lights for technology development, for computer science development, for cultural directors development, for citizen diplomacy development, for every sections to develop further. And what's challenging you right now in America to understand the unique chance open to us right now. Besides everything, editor-in-chief of Moscow News, while believing me that it's a possibility, also warned me that, look, we should have some explanation why we are behind it. Because it's a year of peace declared by United Nations, and that's why it's natural to announce that we are not just formally announced about it, but creatively begin this year with something absolutely unpredictable.
Let's start it out with something big.
Yeah, something big.
Okay.
And
So
don't be afraid to be criticized for doing something big, because it's time for thinking something big.
of course.
Because otherwise, who we are? Well, we have obligation towards people around us, because for some reasons or circumstances, we happen to be here, but not consider yourself as the exclusive rights to be here. Because it's a lot of gifted people behind this technology in all over the world, because they started to think it over, knowing that it's possible to create, because Japanese engineers did it, because us, first of all, were created 3 years ago for the money of Steve Wozniak, and they paid for us to participate.
Yes.
Now we did it together. Let's create it something.
Sounds good. Sounds like a great way to start off the year of peace at the UN.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to apply to the General Secretary of the United Nations to tell us, this is where, follow your directions, sir. We're on duty. Let's make it together.
Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. My husband and I started a spiritual community in San Diego about 4 years ago.
But you graduated from some school or what?
Well, yes, I've graduated from the University of California at Berkeley and from the University of Hawaii in urban planning. But now I'm involved in the human potential movement.
Понимаю. Значит, она закончила 2 университета в Гавайях, в Калифорнии, в Сан-Диего, и занимается, что называется, гражданским планированием.
Что это?
Ну вот, примерно, сказать, как проектировать жизнь сообщества.
Социология?
Ну, разные там вещи. А в частности, сейчас она занимается такую игровую площадку для детей. В чем идея? Как пришло это? Да, как пришло это?
Ну, примерно то же, что она что они добиваются этим вторым рождением. То есть, ребенок, который вырастет здесь, будет несколько другим.
Barbara, you know, to a certain extent, what they've done, it's based on the same philosophy. It's a sort of a rebirthing of kids.
Yes.
So kids who experience such a place to share, to have time, will be a little bit different from those who will be developing without such a place.
Yes.
So they,
повторяю, это только начало, очень такое
but it's
скромное.
definitely very modest beginning, because they sort of psychological backgrounds to trust that all environment should be changed,
Yes.
to rebirth people who were unhappy to be born to the reality rather than gloomy, gray and sound.
История прогресс могла приглушить.
У нас интересует городской дизайн, который у нас на недостаточном уровне в Москве.
Well, being professionally educated as architects, they are thinking of the problem of the city design or city planning,
Yes.
and it's definitely not satisfactory in the big city.
Yes.
And it's everywhere, Moscow not excluded.
Yes.
So they're looking the chance to improve the situation.
Ночлежную среду, ночлежные районы
Yeah.
превратить в живые,
So
домашние.
they want to so-called the sleeping districts of Moscow to rebirth to the real life district for a
Yes.
normal life.
Yes.
And sleeping districts of any big city district, just place where people sleep and eat, to return a life there.
We call them bedroom communities.
Она так называет спальные сообщества. У них и в Америке такое же название. Bedroom community.
Не, ну для нас это еще с архитектурой связано.
But for them it also, yeah.
Архитектура мертвая, и мы преследовали цель, даже такой термин есть архитектуры, реабилитация деградирующей среды. Дворовые пространства, которые ничем не оживлены,
Yeah.
свалка рядом.
Место отчуждения.
And there is a sort of a philosophy here. They call it rehabilitation of a disgraceful environment.
Yes.
And being professionally educated, they know about those problems. And first, they're motivated by the problem of pure architecture, because bedroom communities are living in the rectangular, very simple, very primitive architectural places, while returning life to those parts of the district. You're obliged to make more interesting architectural
Yes.
solutions.
Yes. A variety of
A variety,
environments.
yeah. Variety of the environments, yeah. True.
Yes.
Хочу попробовать заняться всем городским дизайном. То есть не только в детской площадке,
Детская
но
площадка
весь
только
двор.
часть.
Знаки, указатели, подъезды, цвет на домах. Понятно.
And definitely they were dreaming to make the next step after the small kindergarten to transformation the whole indoor or indoor place from the color of the buildings, entrances, windows, colors within the windows, convince citizens probably to change their clothes eventually to connect to the city, and Main Street out of the garden. So to transform all the environment there.
Now, are you working specifically on this area right here?
Вы собирались дальше работать именно вот здесь, вокруг площадки?
Говорите на Арбате.
But now, because of the chance to meet me, they want to do it on the new area, the whole street of
Yeah.
Arbat.
Yes. So this.
This is a project they're working with right now.
Yes. Could you ask them perhaps to explain
Okay.
what this is
Yeah.
and about this project so that we can get it?
Okay.
Ее нет.
Now, to convince inhabitants that they can do everything for themselves because it's done
Yes.
out of nothing. No specific materials,
Yes.
no very expensive things they use. It's very simple things, but presented in such a beautiful way that can it's sort of a human potential
Yes.
suggestion. Not,
Они увидят, кстати.
no,
Мы
but
покажем. Велосипедные колеса.
they will, while we'll show, they will make excursion. They'll explain what kind of things they get and where from, what the
Yes.
previous history or biography of those things they
Они
use.
видели флигель, да?
Я показал им только общий вид.
Дети принесли нам эти колеса,
Part of the
которые
parts-
вот здесь живут. в этом парке.
Parts of this gathering, kids who were living there brought to them to use.
Yes.
So it was a co-production.
Yes. So then the
Дети
idea
нам
would be.
постоянно помогали в этой работе.
And
Они
kids were-
покрасили, что-нибудь принести.
And kids were supportive resources. They were making, they were brushing the things and
Painting them.
and helping them, assisting them, being there.
Yes.
Взрослые вообще считают, что это лучше достаточно.
But adults, well, the adults didn't do it because,
Дети
well,
понимают.
but kids shared the vision and did a good job.
Yes. So then is the idea that this would be an example
Yeah.
of what people could do anywhere?
Yeah, it's a beginning of their job. So if I wouldn't chance to meet with them, probably we'll continue the job with indoor garden transformation. But because I met them and tried to use this energy for the larger project I'm working on right now,
Yes.
not diminishing what they accomplish here, but It is something in the center of Moscow and so forth.
Yes.
I invited them to share, and they started to work with me and already made some. Why don't you show this first?
Yes, can you explain
Yeah.
this project?
For instance, on the Arbat, in one of these, they given us the first floor of the house, not yet. It's a lost place, frankly. It's not repaired. And they made a project for our future laboratory,
Yes.
where Arbat region will be one of the objects for us to work. So, and we are planning to.
So this will be your studio?
Yes, studio. We planned the studio there, and they've given us a place. It's 400.
Who has given it to you?
Local authorities in Arbat. So this is a place. So next time when you arrive here, we hope to meet you in the conference hall of the studio here, and it will be a special place for exercises. So next time you will be welcome to show the technology of rebuffing.
I'd love
With
to.
selected people who will come from university community, from psychology community, from different places. Will be the entrance hall. This is kitchen where the beautiful coffee will be served next time. So it will be in our hands. We're already given money, 30,000 rubles, to make
Wonderful.
prepare everything. So selected materials are given to us. Big. Okay.
Now, let me ask, what inspired the authorities to support this endeavor? Have they seen this park out here, or you've talked to them about these space bridges, or?
Как вы думаете, что вдохновляет власти, что они начали помогать этой идее? Почему? Because everybody felt we arrived to the extremes.
Здесь
So
вот во
it's
дворе
necessary to do something. Its time has come.
The time has come
yeah, to do something for people.
to improve the
Improve the
environment.
environment for people.
Возникла
Yes.
необходимость.
So it's publicly received message that it's necessary to do something. So what they needed is one initiative, an example.
Yes, and so
One.
your
So
playground is
they
provided.
provided it. So the same we've done with the space bridges. It's necessary to improve communications.
Yes,
So when accomplished it, it became obvious it's necessary to do something. That's why industry produced large screen,
yes.
and city planners given to us the sacred place of Moscow, old Arbat, to make experiments.
Yes, wonderful.
And also, as he explained, there are potentials already in the society to channel part of our energy and resources, not just on the level of survival, but
тоже проявляет
Improve beyond survival.
Beyond survival,
Yes.
level of existence,
Yes.
like before we used to say.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Теперь, значит, она хотела бы слышать, что вы немножко расскажите про этот проект, как вы понимаете с Арбатом эту историю, и что для вас Арбат.
So this studio then will be somewhere in this area?
Yeah, precisely.
Yes.
Что интересует? Вот именно плакат или вся история?
Не, ну что вас увлекло в проекте Арбата и что значит вы
Это же, в
видите?
общем-то, пока что ничего.
There is no place here. They just started to make the real Arbat.
А складе-то где?
Yes.
Складе.
Склад я вчера показывал.
Ну это тоже.
Да. So they are working on what right now? To make a model of the transformed celebration of the New Year party for the thousands of people who happen to be in this area, using technology of communications and hoping to make a live space bridge with America.
Yes.
Почему? Говори, да?
Да-да.
Почему мы?
Yeah.
Потому что там сложилась такая вот ситуация, в каком-то роде уникальная. Просто нам там дают возможности, начальство местно заинтересовано, не только начальство, вся вот эта, как сказать, сборище этих людей, которые живут, и начальство, и администрация, потом Арбат уникальная улица для Москвы.
И общественность.
То есть и сверху идет какой-то интерес проявляется к этой улице.
So it can be translated like that. Without us, somebody have decided to make Arbat as a very old and very important part of Moscow as a sort of preserved environment,
Yes.
pedestrian mall.
Preserving the traditional
Preserved,
architecture.
Yeah. But when they accomplished part of the job, it became obvious that the dynamic of life, existence there, well, depends on some other resources, not totally architectural, but some psychological and traditional and around
Yes.
that. So, and they feel it's necessary to do the next step. And when we met with those people, so necessity, obvious necessity, and our initiative came together, and they supported us.
Потом сама профессиональная задача, то, что мы делали здесь, она напрямую имеет выход сюда. Почему? Мало отреставрировать улицу, надо еще вдохнуть в нее какую-то жизнь.
Yeah.
То, чего мы хотим,
the
это создать
philosophy,
городскую среду.
the philosophy of the restoration of the city environment, which are the small model demonstrated here
Yes.
and already published in papers, and they were shown on TV.
This part.
This part. People arrived to make a program, and it was repeated several times of the Moscow TV program about the news, Moscow news. That's why Moscow news
Is
is supportive as news. It's something new.
Uh-huh.
I can't pretend that it's traditional. It's not traditional.
Yes.
It's rather new.
Yes.
Мы с традиции тоже исходим.
But at the same time, they're interested to combine new and tradition.
Yes.
So to find a place for them to demonstrate a
Нова
large
вырастала из
potential.
традиций. То же самое и здесь. Такой,
В русском городе, как в любом европейском, американском, наверняка существовали традиции этих городских праздников.
And also they knew about the tradition in every
Program.
Russian city as well as in every American city. It was a tradition of the celebrations and feasts, so there were sacred places where it traditionally done.
Yes.
And this is just trying to restore traditions.
Yes.
That's why when we invited them to think about New Year party, where old style tradition and new brand technology combined together, we'll invite people to communicate, to have a good time. It's no contradiction.
No, not at all.
Fortunately, it's supported. There are atmosphere around us is supporting.
Сейчас эти традиции несколько утратили свою роль, и мы хотим их возродить уже в другом качестве.
So the new approach,
Но от них отталкиваются.
yeah, it's new approach of to restore those traditions who partly lost their meaning for people at large, inhabitants of those traditional environment.
Is the Arbat district then is the community, the people who live there, do they embody this tradition a little bit more than
Well,
other people perhaps?
Definitely, and there are a lot of manifestations that people are better remembering those things.
Но те новые возможности, о которых говорит Кирилл, нам дает экран. То есть, тут уникальная возможность у Арбата, то, что рядом стоит экран.
Сейчас, я переведу, да, значит.
Праздники. Тут есть.
Ну, все это аудиовизуальное.
So
Тоже советские
this
праздники.
is to show that the tradition of the Soviet celebrations from the first days of revolution,
Yes.
and they are also remembering those traditions, for instance. So it was they were trying to invent new kind of traditions
Можем подарить.
after the revolution.
Можем подарить.
Now is this about
Ну,
the
потом решим, что они еще будут в Москве.
Они продаются.
Да.
is this about Moscow in general or is this about
No,
the
no, it's
Arbat
about-
Все
district?
Москва, Петербург.
It's Moscow, Petersburg. It's larger than it's, and it's a manifestation how the mass arts. Well, it's from 1917 to 1932.
1932.
Три первые пятилетки.
Этим занимались те люди, которые сейчас в Америке наверняка очень известны среди
And the
архитекторов.
best designers, the best artists,
Лисицкий,
probably
Малевич.
Лисицкий,
Lissitsky,
Малевич,
Malevich, very well-known painters, eminent ones.
Мельников,
Tatlin, they're very popular. They were devoting part of their energy to recreate and
То есть,
or create
знакомые
new
имена
traditions.
Yes.
Tatlin, Malevich, and they're
New cultural traditions
yeah,
then.
да.
Знаете?
Yes. Now, I never see anything like this in the whole USSR. Every place I've been, I've never seen murals.
Во
And in the
всем-
United States, they're very popular.
Вот, например, в Америке это вот можно видеть, а в Советском Союзе никогда не видела. By the way, if you want, they can present this book to you.
Oh my goodness. I would love it.
Она ужасно хотела бы
I
эту
would love
книжку
it.
получить.
Thank you
It's
so
yours.
much. Thank you
Она
very
немного
much.
грязная же, мы
But
с ней
it's-
работаем.
they read this book, so it's not brand new.
That's all
but
right.
Но это наши
I'll-
отпечатки.
It's there's fingers printed here.
Yes, that makes it better.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
Спасибо. Большое спасибо.
So it gives a little bit about the backgrounds of the architects here,
Yes.
of them whole, because it's not just out of the blue, this initiative. It's based on some necessity to do something.
Yes. In the United States, in areas where there
Это задача там. Цветовой код ввести, например, чтобы он его разгадал.
These elements just beginning. They want to make
Это мы хотим.
a place to be transformed into sort of a problem solving. The people, the kids should be using different paths to reach something, and not just being used as rats, you know, but a very, very enriching environment.
Yes.
So they have a sort of a lot of ideas ahead of them, and that was just beginning. The modest first step.
It's a very good step. A very, very good step.
Спасибо.
Yes. Пожалуйста. Would you like a pen?
Сейчас он будет спускаться по трубе.
Enjoy the little tickets for me.
Yes. Where did you get that?
Я не напрасно ношу значок.
Just
Расскажите. Я не напрасно
Where did you
ношу.
get this?
Yes. Yes.
Я в это верю.
Well,
This your son's.
А вот эти штучки, это тоже на площадку, это
Yes, they're
туда.
models for outside.
I have a son, 17.
Those are great.
Вот тоже этот ваш каталог нам подсказал.
I like this one.
Блин, работает. Вот.
Возьмите на память.
Ah, his son is working here.
Yes.
Sergei's son is working here, so it's shadows of his work.
Yes. That's great.
А вот это тоже на площадку должно пойти, эта форма появится. Это
So
маленькая
this
модель
form,
и
it's model what eventually will be done for the.
Darling.
Yes, I like it.
They do great work. Fun.
Great fun.
Yes.
Hotel.
Hosts,
Yes.
and like all kind of ordinary people were expected to learn brave, rough, normal language.
Yes.
So I explained, look, Lazanov made the course for 12 people. It's a traditional group of psychotherapy.
Yes.
But well, how can I find enough teachers and educators to do it? So why don't we try to overcome the barrier and collect, say, an order more, 100 people together? Because discotheque is a language class. Frankly, with a great fear within me, because Lozano is a great friend and great authority, who am I to
Yes,
break
I
the
understand.
walls? So I decided to do it on a very modest level and invited underground musicians from folk community,
Yes.
folk rock community to help me. So we write with a winter camp for students.
I'm not familiar with it.
Winter camp.
Winter camp, it's a totally new process, unknown to you, to ourselves, to
Yeah.
great silence. Who will be? You will be Americans. With American passports, with American biographies, with American names, definitely speaking American language. But we don't know it. We'll know. You know it. How comes? It's no problem. It's just a technical thing. We know how to teach you. Disconnect was full to capacity.
They all wanted
So
to
for
become
2 weeks we
American.
have a good time there.
Очередное приобретение с помойки. Что-нибудь сделаем.
They just found new discovery.
Aha! Yay!
More material for their.
Сейчас я закончу маленький рассказ, потом
У
продолжим.
меня есть одно
Ладно?
предложение. Ладно.
Какое?
Этот самый Юра предложил сняться для Moscow News и написать что-нибудь об этом.
Очень хорошо,
И
замечательно.
он сейчас хочет пойти с нами на Арбат.
На Арбат пойдем?
Да.
Замечательно.
И сейчас хочет снять, он сейчас снимает сверху, на площадке.
Сейчас, через секунду они пойдут туда.
Ага.
Just a few seconds and the exciting proposal will arrive. So, well, when I accomplish this experiment, I arrived with these documents on the first ever Congress on Unconscious in 1979 in Tbilisi, Georgia. We arrived in two capacities. One is the Academy of Sciences behind me. The second one is a TV group behind me, too. And there I met Stanley Krippner, old friend of Dr. Lozano, director of the Institute of Psychology, Humanistic Psychology, from San Francisco. So Lozano introduced me to Stanley Krippner and given him my regards because he's a friend of Lozanov. I invited Lozanov myself and shown this large group of people being very, very uncertain what will be Lozanov's reaction.
Yes.
He was absolutely happy.
Oh, good. Yes, of course.
I said, I will teach thousands of people, explained to him, by your method.
Yes.
Transform a little bit, but the core things are there. So it will be broad manifestation of the ability of the suggestive accelerated learning and teaching. And Krippner was absolutely happy to know and invited his friends from Aslan who accompanied him there. This is why I met them first time.
And this is on videotape.
Yeah.
I'd love to see
Oh,
this.
yes.
So what? So, and after the boycott arrived, So they don't need any more my languages
Yes.
at courses because there were no abundance of people obliged to speak language.
Yes.
But then I transfer my energy to Olympic Scientific Congress, where I created a small section about human hidden reserves, and it's published all our reports. They invited people from Iceland to substitute for professional biophysicists or biochemists and physiologists from traditional communities. So we first arrived together, and then we started making experiments together, and 2 years later, Space Bridge was created.
Ah.
And then I understood that this is my profession,
Yes.
my new profession.
Yes.
All of this.
Yeah,
We've
to
all
create
taken on
new
new
channel of
professions.
communications.
Yes.
And it's a profession. Somebody
Yes.
should be coordinating technology, psychology, politics, cross-cultural analysis. I don't know who is a specialist. Specialists are those who are making specialists are those who are making space bridges real.
Yes.
So the first two were done with us were soon. The third one with San Diego University. And then I've decided to concentrate all my efforts to make technology available. And this screen is part of the
Yes.
consciousness transformation of
Now,
something.
where was this screen built, this big screen?
In the industry.
Here in Soviet
Here in
Union.
Soviet Union, homemade totally.
Homemade.
Homemade. All
When you say
elements.
homemade.
It means not borrow.
The Soviet Union.
In the
I
Soviet
see,
Union,
I
we didn't borrow something from Japan or something from America.
I see.
The only elements we're using, not Soviets, it's input. We're going to use Sony equipment to show the tape
Yes.
through the screen. This is not ours. Though we can use Soviet videotape from Voronezh, for instance.
Yes.
But right now they prefer to use professional video camera from Japan. And now you are here. I am trying right now to connect together ready-made space bridge
Yes.
and all our experience of human potential
Yes.
together.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
As a source of transformation for the humanity at large.
Yes.
It's not the only topic for the space bridges. Regular, traditional, cultural elements of the world can communicate, but I prefer to return back to my roots.
I think this is so exciting because
It is exciting.
my whole
It's
background
huge.
has been in future studies, technology, advanced technology, and now that was before, and then the last 6 years have been in the human potential movement.
So these are all
And
elements.
so
It's all
it's
the
coming
same.
together.
It's all.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
unsuccessful space bridge what I tried to do last year was a futurist congress in Washington. Because they didn't raise money, we didn't find authorities. I wanted to arrest attention of futurists about the possibilities. So when J. Ogilvy, one of the futurists of Americans, arrived here last year this year before Live Aid concert, and he was talking about future, I explained, this is the future.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is the future.
Yes,
I
it is.
invite you to pay attention to rock musicians who are again
That is the
much
future.
ahead of science.
Yes.
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 And I'm proud to tell that those kids who are helping with the large group experiments of Lazanov method now taking part in the Live Aid concert.
That's exciting.
The same group of people. This is important. This is nothing occasional here.
No.
Okay, this is my
Well,
story.
It feels really big, and I
Yeah.
admire your vision. I really
Well,
admire
I
it.
explained to you this is, well, frankly, it's not, I'm not modest enough probably, but it's our vision definitely.
It is, for
It's
sure.
gone from all, who am I without this Gulf Stream of ideas,
Yes,
of connections,
yes.
of literature, of
Yes.
support, and all this stuff.
I have the same feelings that I see way into the future what I want to happen, but it's difficult for me to figure out the steps to get there,
Well,
and that's why I
Yeah,
need.
I've done. First important building you have here. Russian poet Pushkin, when his
Alexander
last
Sergeyevich.
Alexander Pushkin, that's his last day in 1981 here before the marriage. He invited all his boyfriends here. He was 32 years old at the time. There was a great party, and they were all drunk heavily. And next day he left for a marriage ceremony and returned back with his wife. So this is precisely the building in this perform in this balcony from where on the New Year party the greatest Soviet authors will be reading poetry and having a good time. And
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the balcony.
And having great parties, huh?
Great parties, yeah. So from this balcony we'll invite the greatest Soviet poets and singers and those who devote their arts to Pushkin memory. We'll be here in this balcony, and crowd here will be cheering and talking to them live. And somebody will shoot it and repeat it from the great screen on the beginning of the community, telling them, look, while they're staying here, somewhere there, the greatest artists are talking live, and probably American poets will arrive.
Oh,
and,
great
and
idea.
People, the crowd will be refreshing all the time. And if they want to see themselves on a huge screen, part of them will go there.
Yes,
So
and see what's been happening
Yeah,
here.
what's been happening. So it's the beginning of transformation.
Great idea.
Library in this unique night is sort of a TV studio to make montage of ready-made films here before they will be transmitted. So, and the whole studio will be at our disposal. And this is the place where I expect your presentation about life in Oregon. So it's a huge hall there and some monitors and video equipment. And people will be coming in and out, and we'll studio for the night to prepare films. So let's go further. This is milk, but I hope not only milk will be sold on this night there. Milk, oh, it will be called like Milk Bar Kurova, like from Clockwork Orange, you know. And so it's a milk bar we will use to feed people.
You wouldn't by any chance have a roll of film with you, would you? 35 millimeter film?
In the school,
What?
Yeah.
Well, we have a tradition to sell food on the street. So people from these all kind of shops will be on the street,
Yes.
proposing their
Yes.
feeding people with it. Definitely something picturesque.
Yes,
That's
that would be
tradition.
wonderful. So that's a New Year's tradition then?
No, on this street it never existed because the street accomplished a few weeks ago. And it became available to walk here only a few weeks ago.
But usually on New Year's, would people be selling things?
Ah,
Sorry. Покажем это самое.
не надо. And the New Year Eve it will be.
А почему нет? Это знает весь мир. Ну вот, в Арбатском переулке.
Не надо, сейчас у нас только на Арбат хватит сил, они все замерзли. Нет, ну потом, это не у нас старое. This is a photography studio where it will be decorated as a beginning of the century. And it will be a small cafe here with hot drinks.
Are all of these buildings recently renovated? Yes, they all look like
All of them, and restored along the styles of the last century.
Very nice. I like
really well
Yeah.
done.
I like the light colors.
The light, they're very bright at night, believe me. Да. Вот сейчас подойдем, когда заметь карты, да.
Там маркера имеет смысл, потому что тогда будет видно и с улицы, и вот отсюда. Да, не только фасадное восприятие, а еще и...
Ты справа вы всех домов, да?
Да, слева.
Слева. Слева. А, вот это?
Хотя вот так.
А, я.
А вот переулки, которые идут в Калининск,
Да, мы скажем сейчас, покажем, да. Вот тот вахтанговый переулок. Мы покажем наш дом, где будет наша студия.
парикмахерская сказать, сказали про это?
Да, я скажу, да.
Excuse me, Kelly.
Да, ну что одно.
No, no, I didn't mind at all. I just was going to ask just.
And definitely people not expecting to be the whole night on the street, but going from one place to another place, and it will be definitely. Да. And also, between Kalininski Prospect, who is next to this street,
Yes.
and here it will be the lanes will also fill with.
Like that building.
Yeah, and they want to use this building for the unusual enterprise. They want to invite musicians, and every musician will be playing from one window. So the orchestra lies behind them.
That's great.
And definitely people will be dancing down and
In the street.
in the street, yeah.
That's great.
And everywhere, so in every 20 minutes, it will be colored monitor showing what's going on in a huge screen on Kalininski.
Вот этот дом.
And that one to so and every balcony. And
Сейчас он высадит.
And what will you
it's
have?
empty house. It's already without. They want to use it from every window suddenly as out of nothing, out of the.
Someone will come.
And the orchestra will be playing, and it will be very loud and very unusual.
And then will you have a number of video cameras along the way?
Yeah. And Kelly, it's a good example what kind of equipment we obliged to supply here to make ongoing. And eventually people will see that it's sort of a, imagine it's a stage.
Yes.
And we are two actors pretending it's very cold. And we're running somewhere to drink a little bit. And we're fast. And this is not pretending, it's a real cold.
Yes.
And this is sort of mise en réalité. So what we need right now, to be somewhere where it's warm, and so we will find, let's go somewhere where it's warm. And we would arrive there, and we're there, it's warm at last. And somebody will tell, look, something incredible happens 2 blocks from here. Let's run there. So we'll run there. Yeah.
А здесь будет бесплатная раздача песцов и соболей.
So this will be free delivering of fruits, as they explain it.
Oh, yes, I like that.
We'll show you where is this first floor.
Your studio.
First floor.
Yeah.
Place here. So we want to connect 2 teams of a huge professional. Well, during the night, it will be a night concert in this theater.
Yes.
So hundreds of people will be here cheering and talking and sharing and coming to different places all over the Arbat, and people used to come there. So it will be community life.
Yes. Yes.
And what is important that this
In the evening.
In the evening.
Wonderful.
The community life will be summarized in a huge screen we will see eventually.
Yes.
And through huge screen it will be available for viewers in Alaska and Honolulu, whatever.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes. How often do you intend to use that big screen?
Well, the big screen when it will start operations is expected to work for 6 hours per day.
And how will that be financed?
Yes, it's a self-supporting studio because they expect to sell advertisement for different organizations.
For example, what type of organization?
For instance, we want to convince a trade union to sell different excursions all over the Moscow and other cities to teach people to use their free time, not just as a city dwellers to be here, but to open unusual routes for, if you say, you recommend, if you go there on this train and go there and they have a boat waiting for you. And so, why don't we buy something very inexpensive, which is specifically done for this excursion.
Yes.
So we'll be selling environment to people to teach them. It's not necessary to wait until every year a vacation will arrive. So every weekend can be very enriching for you.
Yes.
And it's not that you have to be professional tripper. So let's discover environment around you.
Yes.
One kind of advertisement.
Yes.
The second one is definitely films want to be introduced to people.
Yes, to encourage them to come and see the film.
Another story that there are a lot of artists used to come to Moscow.
Yes.
So from those cities where they are living,
Yes.
they can prepare small advertisement films about forthcoming
Events. To let people know.
on the main street of Moscow. You will
Yes.
know those artists to go straight so far. But the main dream for me is to use it for space bridges.
Yes.
To use it for any event, say mutual celebrations and mutual feasts. And in Moscow it's about 50 international exhibits per year. And every exhibit can have a time on the huge screen to explain itself.
Yes.
To show what kind of equipment you have, what kind of mutual contracts do you have with different
Yes.
countries.
So it would be very educational
representatives, yes, can advertise themselves, and
Yes.
definitely they are ready to pay any amount of money
Yes.
to talk on the main street of Moscow because they have a chance to be seen by a Politburo member crossing
Yes.
the street on his car, or passers-by, or some ministers and some important people, and people from press and from television. So it's a small studio, self-supporting.
And what do you call this mall?
The pedestrian mall, Arbat.
Arbat.
Arbat. Arbat is just a name. There is three versions, the origin of the word.
Yes.
Arbat is like three versions. I'll explain you later. It's a converted word explaining that it's curved street.
Yes.
Arbat.
So
Gorbat.
Is that the name of the whole district
Yes,
as well
and
as this
eventually
street?
it became the name of the whole district, not
Yes.
only the street.
No, but it was
so
originally
the
this
lanes are originally the district. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It goes back to centuries ago, and it's existing in the history of a Russian language, a Russian culture, and specifically in the history of Moscow. So Moscow and Arbat is as sacred as the Red Square.
Huh.
Not less popular, not less known, though definitely Red Square have a national
Yes.
meaning,
international,
international.
yes.
But Arbat is Moscow.
Yes.
So it's most natural to make Moscow event here.
Yes.
Вы знаете, что это не единственная улица такая хорошая у нас. Находится везде на свете. А еще же будет... Нет, а еще же есть проект. Есть Олежка,
This is the first pedestrian mall, but also there is a trend to make some other important places in Moscow. Going to the pedestrian mall, yeah, with its traditional routes in the center of Moscow. But this is the first one, and because it's connected by geographically to our headquarters,
Yes.
our future headquarters,
Yes.
as we said. So we expect to make unusual presentations here. Someday I can imagine that a traditional festival of Shakespearean arts in Ashland
Yes, Ashland.
Ashland will be connected to Moscow Vachtangoff Theater and will live performance, not necessarily in winter, in the summertime. Sure.
Традиционная российская архитектура, псевдорусский стиль, тоже там начало века.
This is the beginning of the century. Traditional Russian wooden house. Yes.
Это псевдорусский стиль, начало века.
We call it pseudo-Russian style of the beginning of the century.
Псевдорусский.
Я сказал pseudo-Russian. It means pseudo-Russian.
Там кто-то жил.
Стиль, из которого пошел русский модерн.
Какой-то композитор.
To buy them, to make presents to girls, and when you'll come, let's go inside for a second. From the street. street where it's very cold, you suddenly feel temptation to be very warm. And you're right here, there are a lot of flowers like from a film, My Fair Lady. So it was beautiful colors. Abundance of colors, and you can smell it's incredible.
Scent of the
Scent,
flowers.
yeah, and it's as if summer again.
Yes.
No winter,
Yes.
and people are smiling to you. It's a summertime, and the music and everything like very incredible, beautiful.
Yeah.
And that one, and you'll show this on the big screen.
And immediately shows that you can feel. The architect started to transform it on the project, on the paper, in 1974. It took 10 years to accomplish this.
And when do they expect to be complete?
Well, to say frankly, never. Because we prefer that every event of the street will bring new ideas of the routes. It will be always something added because the street was developing through centuries. So new memory will arrive,
And
new
it will
temptation
continue
will arrive.
to
Yes,
develop.
it will continue. Some ideas will arrive from people. Why don't we do this and that and so forth? And also some performing arts will be accomplished on the street and started again. So it will be a memory of the city,
Yes.
a memory of the people. Well, how can you accomplish a memory connected with the Pushkin? So it's new ideas will arrive, new generations will arrive, new kids will be grown up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect location for what you're doing.
It's not must. It's not chosen. For instance, and hell, it's not an important thing for us. Well, do you remember I've shown you it's a video studio will be there. Just across the street, there is another hairdress room. So we want to transform hairdress room into the place where everybody can have a makeup.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So it can come in order to be a queen for
Queen for a day.
Yeah, queen for a day.
Oh,
It will be done as queen for a day and shot and shown on the huge screen, not necessarily be professional actor or eminent woman.
Yes.
But as I feel like a queen today.
Yes.
You'll tell to your friend or husband or to yourself. And come in and tell, I want to be a queen for a day.
Yes.
And you'll be chosen a dress, the form of your hair and the color of your skin. And somebody with a camera will present you to the public.
And you'll be on the big screen.
Yeah, on the big screen. It's a queen for a day.
Oh, that's great.
Should be fun.
Yeah, and it'll be open for the whole night until the early morning and until the fun will be over.
Wonderful.
So let's go. Как стрелец в ружье. They are making new dress for people, new costumes, new trousers. This time it will be used for, we'll bring a lot of costumes there for you to become anybody you want. Masquerade, you know, it's a carnival. So you come in and you pay some money, very cheap.
Yes.
And leave your dress in a special room and get new one and leave it.
And you
Cat in the shoes.
emerge
You know.
as a new
A new
personality.
person and have a good time. After that you feel, oh, I want to return to my regular dress and return to your regular dress. Well, we invite people to be as open as they want.
Yes.
It's just transforming spirit. And because of the huge screen and small cameras, collecting unusual manifestation of something deserve general attention. And also to explain to people, well, if you feel like being transformed into somebody, go to this corner and be.
Yes.
It's never done in this city for decades at least. From the time of the book you took today.
Yes.
So, well, we want to have such a tradition.
Yes.
And every new year on this new street.
So have all of these shops agreed to participate in these ways?
Well, more than they agree, they ordered to do it because Municipality of Moscow in charge of the
decided.
operations.
Yes.
An Initiative of Moscow newspaper and Municipality of Moscow, the two organizations. Why Municipality of Moscow interested at all? Well, because I've shown it to friends, to Kelly yesterday. There is an order of Municipal of Moscow to open New Year celebrations on the pedestrian mall, to bring trees here, to now it's empty, can supply hot food and drinks and so forth. So we added a little bit more. We invited them to add to this order of municipality. Let's have a feast.
Yes.
Have a feedback with a huge screen to advertise those events here and to make Space Bridge.
Yes.
To show that it's an international year of peace.
And they have agreed to that.
Yes, to my surprise, it was no problem to convince them to do it.
Yes.
So we invited Moscow newspaper.
I imagine that they're very proud.
Yeah.
What's this mall?
Yeah, absolutely. They paid a lot of money, and we said, let's advertise it through Moscow News channel. That's why Moscow News became interested to be a sponsor together with municipality of Moscow.
Yes.
And that's why I invited them to start this advertising company in Moscow News from the works of my friends architects, to show that they are making model of the presentation. And this kind of young people with initiative and imagination will be not just gloomy planets.
Yes.
You know, people who will invite, hundreds of their friends will arrive here. They have a good time, believe me. And mothers of those kids transform already a little bit. And a lot of people will arrive here with us. But definitely, a lot depends on the cooperation and participation on the side of our American friends.
Yes.
Because it will be incredibly more picturesque, unusual, vivid, and human. It will make a bridge this unique night together.
Yes.
So when friends from Alaska decided to send message to us right after midnight, or midday.
At the beginning of the year of peace.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And we definitely will make everything they ask us to do, to invite eminent Alaska's Chukotska's office and dancing companies and to present something and have a bilateral communications to them.
Yes.
So we will be obliged to do it too. So it's all great preparations right now. Although it's a little bit more than a month ahead.
Yes, not very far away.
Nevertheless, we trust that it's possible to do.
And if it cannot happen, something happens and it can't happen on the 1st, well, of course, this event will be on New Year's.
Indoor city event, it's already planned. It's no way to prevent it because New Year will come event.
Yes.
You mean if Space Bridge
But the Space Bridge doesn't happen, can it happen?
Well, we'll be very, very disappointed.
Yes.
But we want to...
But perhaps it can happen then.
We want to invite some friends, like Kelly's invited already, to come here to make a closed circuit Space Bridge.
Yes.
So a Space Bridge from there between video salon and Pushkin, balcony and huge screen.
Yes.
So we will do something.
Yes.
Huh? And also they want to make the whole lanes restored to the total daytime during the night. So a lot of imagination already working.
Yes.
I hope, I don't want to think why it doesn't happen. It will happen.
Yes.
It will happen. So let's go. And well, if we can come to the screen right now. It's a few minutes, and we want to bring you somewhere where it's warm.
I would love to see the screen.
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
Oh my God!
It's bright, colored video.
Oh my God! It's huge.
Every event we expected to witness on this small Arbat will be amplified here to advertise crowds on this huge screen. We'll be in a restaurant.
Yes, you've got to get a shot of this big screen. Now, what was the original purpose of this video screen?
Well, frankly, there are many trends which brought this screen to existence. Original purpose to entertain and advertise. It was never connected in the mind of creator that it's next to the pedestrian mall.
Yes.
That, look, you're here, you're
Yes.
passers by, or came from this restaurant during New Year party, and you just came in and you see. Why
Yes,
don't
you
you
would
go,
go right
something there, why don't you be there with
course.
us and so forth? And suddenly everybody in the Arbat will be informed. Look, go back immediately. Eskimo performing artists from Alaska who will just be,
Yes.
and you can be invited to talk them straight from this place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is an incredible chance.
Yes,
like
it is. An
live
incredible
ever
chance.
space bridge.
But I'm curious why this was built to begin with. For advertising?
Yeah. And also show the almighty technology.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
It is.
I'd love to see it.
Well, unfortunately, I have not enough partners right now, but we have a growing influence.
Has it been used?
Huh?
Has it been
Yeah,
used?
it was tested successfully 10 days ago.
So it was just used for the first time
Yeah.
10 days ago.
Yeah.
And what did they test? What did they put on it?
They put on eminent singers
Yes.
and beautiful landscapes of the country
Yes.
and the world and so forth. So it works successfully.
Interesting. It's very impressive.
Yes.
Let's go inside for a second.